Hey, what's up guys, TechTitan here, and I'm back again with a brand new video. So if you're new around here, don't be a stranger, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more videos. With that being said, this is the exclusive Boost mobile phone, which is the Celero 5G Plus. So basically this is an exclusive phone, like I said, for Boost Mobile. There might be an unlocked version coming out soon, or a version for different carriers, but as of right now, this is only for Boost Mobile. And this has a couple of special things that really caught my attention, beginning with, first of all, the design is very striking, especially the color. It has this kind of bright orange color that's in your face, so if you leave this phone somewhere, it's going to be easy to find. It looks kind of flashy if you ask me. Okay, it's a very smooth matte finish on the back, very slippery, and it is a big phone, so keep that in mind. So on the bottom you have a couple of ports. You have your headphone jack, nice, a microphone, your USB-C that does support up to 20 watt of fast charging, as well as your bottom facing speaker. And here's your first kind of a special feature. So when I say special feature, I'm not saying that it's new, I'm saying that in this type of price range, with which this phone is priced at around 250 bucks, if you get it through Boost, through a promotion, I think you can get it for like 50 bucks or $99, which is a really nice deal. But yeah, you get a support for 15 watt of wireless charging, which is fast, first of all. Two, you don't see that a lot in phones that cost $250. Thumbs up for that. On the right hand side, you do have your power button, which also doubles as your fingerprint sensor, and you also have your volume up and down. They're okay, they're not really that tactile, but they work. And you also have the quad camera setup, which is another special feature that we will definitely cover later on in the video. So the next story behind this phone is this display. So this is a tall and just a large display in general. It's a 7-inch Full HD Plus display that can support up to 400 nits of brightness, which is fairly bright. However, my downside that I have about this display is that it's very reflective. I don't know what type of coating they used on the display, but yeah, you can see my reflection nice and clear. And if you plan on using this phone with one hand, man, you must really have some NBA players' hands. But yeah, so this phone is very large. It's not easy to operate with one hand. However, the positives that I have about the display is, one, it is Full HD. Two, it does support 120 Hz refresh rate, which is fantastic. So the display here is, like I said, decent, other than the reflective coating. I feel like when it comes to watching videos, going through your apps, browsing the web, things like that, it's gonna work fine for you. You shouldn't have a problem with it, other than the fact that it might get uncomfortable if you keep it in your pocket for too long or just want to use it with one hand. It's just a large phone in general. Alright, so let's switch the topic of conversation and talk about the camera setup, which is yet another special feature. However, the camera quality as far as picture taking is, I would say, average for this price. It's not really gonna shock you. So this phone does, however, have a 108 megapixel main sensor. You also have ultra wide sensor, a macro sensor, as well as a depth sensor. When it comes to taking big pictures, this phone is fairly fast. Now you can record up to 1080p for whatever reason, just like the Celero 5G. This phone, when you turn it on, by default, it has it set up to 720p, which I don't understand why. It is what it is, I guess. So you can flip it from 720p to 1080p. It's just funny that they were able to add a 108 megapixel and not give us 4K video recording. Not that a lot of people use it, but just, it's weird. So also, one of the things that I noticed, by default as well, it will take 12 megapixel photos. If you want to switch to kind of the 108 megapixel sensor, one, you will be using larger size files, but this phone can support it. You would have to change it to kind of 4.3 plus aspect ratio, which, one, it will disable your HDR, so you will lose that, but in advantage, you will get kind of sharper photos. So here are a couple of samples that I took, and yeah, so the 108 megapixel will give you about 28 megabyte per photo on average, versus the 7 to 10 megabyte that you will get in a standard 12 megapixel photo. All right, so when it comes to the performance, this phone has an octa-core processor that is fairly well, but the biggest special feature that, again, it has is, one, a nice amount of RAM, which is 6 gigabytes. Two, you also get a 256 gigabyte of standard storage, which is fantastic. I haven't seen it on a phone at this price point yet. So thumbs up for Celero for taking advantage and putting that 256 gigabyte of storage, which means that taking 108 megapixel photos shouldn't be a problem. When it comes to the actual performance though, it's okay. It does what I expected. It did hiccup on me from time to time, but it wasn't as bad as the standard Celero phone. However, using this phone on a daily can get a little bit uncomfortable just because of its large size. I'm not a big fan of this big phone. It's a 7-inch phone. I guess for content consumption, it's good. For playing games, it's good, but for your practical usage, I can't get down with this program. This phone is a little bit too big for me, but some people might be into that. All right, so with that being said, you tell me what you think about this phone. Would this be an option that you would add to your cart, or would this be something that it looks all right, it looks cool, I guess, but it's not something that I would buy? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. If you want to see a full dedicated review, let me know. I'll make that happen as well. And with that being said, I mean, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching, for subscribing, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next one.